Dude, you know what's crazy about the number 87? When I think of the 87, I think of you. 1987. I was 7 years old, and I met my first redhead in Mexico. I'm kidding.
What?
Just totally made that up. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 87 of the Eavesdrop podcast. Today, we have my younger brother, Mr. Nick Maniac Kershner. This episode is sponsored by Curology, and I'll tell you a little bit more about. Do you do skin? You have good skin. Do you do skin routines?
I just use lotion every day. It's like a SPF 50, and I just use it. I do have nice skin.
For as long as I can remember, I've always cared about my skin. I don't know if it was because growing up where I did, I saw a lot of people with fucked up faces. I'm kidding. With weird skin that I just always took care of it. I wash my face at least 5 times a day.
I get crusty ass eyebrows, so I have to. Yeah, it's weird. Like right here.
Yeah,
it gets crusty, and
like
also
skin,
the
like
side
dead
of
skin.
Also, yeah, also the side of my noses my nose. So that's why I really use it, but just can't be out here looking crusty.
Nah, dude. When you're 41, the way that I am, do you think you're gonna look at where are they? Point them. Where are they at? Where are the wrinkles? Unless I smile, you don't see the crow's feet.
Is it
black don't crack, brown don't crack.
Mexican
don't wrinkle in.
Mexican don't wrinkle in.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about Curology as we get into the podcast. But I always wonder, do you, Maddie? No, how old are you? You better start, dude.
Yeah.
You better start. The other thing that made me want to do that too is like the fact that I fish so little now, but at the time I was fishing a lot. Being in the sun all day long, getting your ass beat, and I'm talking about the sun beating on you, hat or not, you're getting beat up because the sun reflects off the water, the way it reflects off the snow, et cetera, et cetera. My hands are the ones that have seen the most damage.
From your pro Call of Duty days?
From my pro Call of Duty days, and also, I don't know what it is, but they're like super, super wrinkly.
Bro.
Let me see yours.
We'll get into,
your
I guess, some
finger?
of this talk later, but when I was using a lot, oh man, my hands were fucked. Like, it was like scary how fucked my hands were. Like, they were all like bent out of shape. My skin was like super tight, like veiny. The inside of my hands were all crusty, and like the skin was super hard. It was so weird.
Isn't that what?
I don't know.
Like some of those do that, right? Like I know Seth, when Seth had the acne problem back at 60/50, and he was taking some medicine, like it dried him up completely, like everything. Like the side of his mouth was like really crusty.
Gross.
What's the name of that? Accutane. That's what it was called. Accutane. I was lucky enough to through high school, like every so often I get a volcano, but then I would curse it. Is that
a pimple?
Yeah. So I'd be in the mirror, right, doing my thing, doing my hair, getting it right, and then I'll see a pimple. I'll be like, oh, I get so mad. I'll be like, I'm cursing this pimple. Anybody that points at it, I was getting 3 in return. Anybody be like, yo, what's up that fat ass pimple, whitehead? I was like, you're getting 3 in return. I cursed it this morning.
You curse it?
Yeah.
That is fucking hilarious.
You know how you enchant pickaxes? I enchanted my pimple to give fortune 3 to those who made fun of it.
Well, I think that's like a Mexican thing, isn't it?
No,
like curses and all that.
Yeah. I don't. Do you have? Do you whites have?
Do white people?
Yeah. No. Right.
It's okay. It doesn't offend us. You can call us white people.
I literally just said whites. You whites.
See, that's racist.
No, it's not. That's how they say it here in Texas.
Anyway, do we what?
Do you guys have curses?
Nah.
Nah. I've talked about this before, and I don't know if it was on a podcast that got viewed by a lot of people or was one of those like more obscure ones, but in Mexico we have it was the Justin Rackley one where we talked about aliens the entire podcast. That shit was fucking fire. It was one of those days where YouTube took a poop and it didn't hit sub boxes or whatever, but it was one of my favorite ones. We have in Mexico growing up. You dated a Mexican chick, so did she ever tell you any weird shit that?
I'm sure she did, but I just know.
But I never listened.
I just kinda. But I just know she would always talk about like curses or like bad like energy, and like she would take the what's it called? You like light a stick on fire basically.
Incense. Oh,
something like that.
What's that called?
I forget the word for it.
Yeah.
You like wave it around your body and shit.
Wait, watch you start down there. No,
Wave it
so,
on.
bro, Mexicans, I don't know what it is. It's culture and all that, and like I get it, right? Like we were an advanced civilization from the beginning, right? The Aztecs, the Mayans, like all that. So obviously they were in tune with their spirituality. They're astronomers to begin with. They invented the concept of zero. Without zero, no computers, no nothing. So you know what I mean? It's verifiable. Like, I wouldn't talk shit. It's
All right.
verifiable. We come up with the concept
believe
of
you.
zero 1,400 years before the Indians did. The Indians from India did. Astronomy, same thing. You know what I mean? We are the dawn of
So this
civilization.
world is built off
Mexicans. I mean, think about it. You know, you're welcome, world.
mentally,
Spiritually, I don't know about,
physically.
I mean, think about. I mean, I don't know. I think Egyptians like have a lot to say about that too because of their technologies back then. Like they electricity through what was it? Oranges and some vinegar inside a vial. It was fucking crazy. I've watched way too many shows. Anyway, where I was going with that is that we have like, for example, I'm gonna give you one example. Growing up, now, this is in the 1980s. Okay. Before internet, before information, before safe to say maybe even no telephones existed, but obviously it's Mexico, so not everybody could afford a telephone. But if it stormed outside, like if there was a storm a brewing, lightning storm, everybody in our household would go and put towels over mirrors because blocking mirrors would prevent lightning from hitting you. No bullshit.
What?
Yeah.
How is that any like?
Well, it's really easy for you to say now with all of the information that's available to you in the palm of your hand. In
Not really.
1982,
'Cause I don't have any information, and it's still not something I would do.
If you grow up as a kid, if your parents say, "All right, let me tell you this," right?
Like I'm just trying to put together how lightning would hit you because of a mirror,
Yeah. Oh, well,
like deflect off of it.
I
Or
don't know.
there's, like-
Why would it attract it? Why would it attract it? What happened? Well, I can only imagine that one day somebody was standing outside on a ranch, looking in the mirror, and he got struck by lightning, and it reflected in the mirror. And ever since then, it spread across all of Mexico that said, "Put some fucking covers over this shit." And if you're Mexican and you weren't born before 1999, before 1993. You have no opinion on this, okay? So I don't want to hear like, "Oh, what? We never fucking heard of that shit." No, you didn't. You didn't live in Mexico the way I live in Mexico, in the era in which I lived in Mexico. This is truth, gospel of Pope.
So even when you're in the house, you would still do it
Yeah, well,
because
yeah,
you
all
think
the
you
mirrors.
could get struck by lightning
Yeah,
in the
so
house.
all of those dressers that have like mirrors. Yeah, like we would all go over and put blankets over there.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's funny.
That's one. What's the other one? Okay, if you're pregnant, you can't go outside during an eclipse because that's what causes cleft lips, or the cleft lip.
What's a cleft lip?
What's a cleft lip, Matt? It's cleft palate. Thank you. It's essentially like your deformation of the upper lip. It's sometimes connected to the gum. It's pretty. Luckily now with technology and medicine, like you're able to have cosmetic surgery to fix a lot of that. But a lot of kids, unfortunately, but I don't know if it had to do with the eclipse or not. But it did. It was a thing, right? Like there's
That's
many.
so weird.
Yeah, bro. No, the thing is, like, they rule with fear, right? Like and I think that it started out as parents just being lazy. Maybe not my parents, but yeah, maybe my parents too, where they would make shit up to make sure that you went to bed early, and it sort of like developed into like the Llorona. You ever heard of that? Your girl never talked about La Llorona?
Maybe, I don't know. Not a good listener.
Is Bloody Mary in the United States? Have you heard of the legend of Bloody Mary?
Like look in the mirror, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Yeah.
Just don't say it again. See how you stopped? You weren't going to, right? You weren't going to say
No.
it. Because I was like this. I looked in the mirror and I didn't. Okay, so in Mexico, there's a thing called La Llorona. It's about it's a woman that drowned her kids and then drowned herself, and she didn't realize that she had drowned her kids or whatever because she was in a state of panic attack or what. I don't know I don't want to know the story. But every so often you hear, "Ay, mis hijos," which means "Where's my," or like "Where are my kids?" or some. Well, that's direct translation is like "Oh, my kids," or "Oh, my children," but it's if you hear it close to you, it's far away. But if you hear the cries far away, she's really close. And on TikTok, just this past week, I've found a lot of pranks going on with that where you have like an old parent sitting outside and a kid with fucking Bluetooth just plays it and the dudes just like completely freak out. Like old people freak out and just fucking run inside. It's really, really good. Like it's a belief so harshly embedded in every Mexican kid and person's DNA that you don't even repeat it.
I don't even know what the like. I don't remember. It's like don't look in the mirror, say it 3 times, and then what happens? What's supposed?
She appears behind you. But
That
that's where
means-
the story
why is that-
stops, dude.
I'm pretty sure as a kid I did it. It was like fucking bullshit.
And
I got trolled.
yeah, it wasn't true,
Yeah.
dude. It to me, like to this day, I don't watch scary movies. You watch scary movies?
I just find scary movies. It depends on the scary movie. Like Paranormal Activity, I thought that was real footage, so that shit fucked me up because I was like, what, 18?
Paranormal Activity?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit fucked me up. But like the typical scary movie, I don't watch because it's just like corny to me, and it pisses. Scary movies piss me off because it's like. People just do the dumbest shit to get caught. It's like, why?
Yeah,
It's just like, I hate
I'm not falling and I'm not hiding in a closet.
shit like Saw. I like because it's like,
psychological thrillers.
yeah, but shit of like, I don't know,
Exorcist?
other scary Exorcist
Conjuring?
kind of shit that like seems a little believable or could happen.
Yeah.
And it's not just people like doing the dumbest shit to get caught or die or not running away and just, I don't know, they piss me off. So I don't know. I like the, I guess, acting of it, but I don't like how they're written.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want shit that like thinks outside the box, like really.
What's a good scary movie that you've seen in the last couple of them that made you say like, yeah, that was a good scary movie?
I haven't watched a scary movie in so long, but I do watch. Like I really don't even remember last time I watched a scary movie. I don't really watch movies in general, to be honest. I kind of watch I'll watch comedians in cars getting coffee on Netflix.
That's scary, yeah.
Or YouTube videos. I don't really watch movies. And if I do watch a movie, it'll be like, I like just mind fuck movies of like what I think is going to happen does not happen. And even what I think is, I'm like, okay, they want you to think this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So you think something else is going to happen, but they want you to think that something else is going to happen and that something just fucking completely random happens.
Yeah. Have you seen Revolver by Guy Ritchie?
I feel like you might have recommended that one time.
So it's the one that like mind fucked me the most. You should watch it. It's really, really good. Jason Statham's in it. Is it? Jason? Yeah, it is Jason. Is it Jason Statham? No. Yes, it is. Anyway, The Exorcist, to give you an example, right? The original Exorcist was a film done in 1973. Okay? In 1973, I was -7 years old. In 1984, almost a decade after the movie was released, when I was 4 years old, my 2 aunts, my dad's mom, my dad's sisters, they showed me that movie, right? So I'm 4 years old, and
That shit'll fuck you up.
yeah, it fucked me up forever, dude. Like to this day, I just opened it, and I got traumatized just looking at her. You know what I mean? Like I got fear in me.
Isn't that based off a true story as well?
I don't know. It's loosely based off of something, just like anything else, right? Everything's based off of something. But because of that, it ruined my entire everything, right? Like I don't watch movies where there are ghosts or paranormal demons.
Paranormal Activity fucked me up.
I wouldn't
Until
watch
I found out the footage was fake.
You know which one fucked me up? Blair Witch Project.
That's the one where they like go around with like
The
just
vlogging.
like hand.
Yes,
Yeah.
3 vloggers.
Yeah.
3 YouTubers pre-YouTube. And what's even more messed up is that it was being shown in like very limited amount of theaters. So we had to go from the suburbs to the city to watch that. And I was like mind blown because I don't, witches, like the way they filmed it is such a genius. Like I just got the chills thinking about it. No bullshit, I did. But I just don't do well in those scenarios. If I can't punch, like if it's a monster, like call it Freddy Krueger, call it, even though he operates in your dream and it's whatever. Freddy Krueger, Jason, was it Michael Myers? Michael Myers was the other one?
Jason, Freddy, and
Voorhees? Was Voorhees? Jason Voorhees? It doesn't matter. But like those, I'll watch because I can defend myself. I can outthink them. But if it's a ghost or a demon that can possess you or something like that, I can't do it. I'll watch zombie movies all day long.
I love zombie movies.
They don't mess with me. Like, it doesn't bother me. But when you put The Witch, for example, my brother like watches a lot of scary movies and lets his kids watch a lot of scary. Well, not a lot, but lets his kids watch some scary movies. And I'm just like, how can you? Like, how are you that brave that you can do that? When Scump started to use my iTunes, all he would do is buy scary movies. Him and his would.
That's surprising.
Yeah,
Scump's a pussy.
Yeah, he can't watch gore. Like he can't watch Jurassic Park because somebody's like body was dismantled or dismembered. Like he can't watch that. Midsommar. Have you watched that? Bro, that's fucking crazy. So he watched that one, and I'm like, how can you watch that, but not something where there's like a war movie because you don't like to see blood? Jude's the same way. You know what I mean? But Scump is traditionally a very gullible person, both good and bad, right? Like you can tell him something bad, he'll believe you. Tell him something good, he'll believe it, which makes it like easier, right? And when you do stuff like, hey, Scump, come over to my base, check it out, and he says, no, you're going to kill me. You're like, no, I won't. But then he shows up, and you're like, God, now I'm going to kill you. That,
then he takes that clip, puts an ad on it. And then
trust issues. You know what I mean? But, yeah, it's a cultural thing that has forever and always made me fearful of that sort of scenario. I don't watch them because, like, my brother says, and we'll bring my brother in for some paranormal talk. I don't want to do it, but every single time my brother like says, "Is like, yo, I just experienced something," I'm like, "Yo, shut up! I don't want to hear it." When my siblings and my mom and my dad start talking about like that shit, I cut it off. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to hear us say. I don't want to hear it.
Has anything ever happened to you?
Once, yeah.
Everyone has like one story.
One that I cannot explain. One time. In Wheeling, Illinois, which is where I grew up, that's the first town that we moved to from Juarez, we lived in an apartment, in a condo complex that was right next to a cemetery. For all of you from Wheeling, Illinois, it's the Amoco or I think it's the Amoco still. It might not be, but it's a gas station that is on Dundee and Wolf. There is a gas station, then there's a veteran cemetery, and then there's condos. We lived on the first floor of like our driveway was shared with you know what I mean? Like I can go from here and then I see graves right there. Anyway, there have been several instances in which our dog at the time would like, my mom would be cooking in the kitchen and then the dog will like start running towards her, growling at something that it wasn't her. So she'd be like, what the hell? So she'll look behind and the dog's just like growling at something, at the air, right? And I was never told this until I told my story. Because they know that they can't share anything like that with me because I will have such a bad time, like being me. It will be on the back of my head the whole time. So this time, I got up in the middle of the night. I went to go take a pee because I slept in the living room because I wanted to I gave my brother and my sister the room. So my dad and mom had their room. Pedro and Bianca had the room, and then I slept in the living room. I came in late all the time anyway. But this one time, I remember I got up. I went to the bathroom. Everything's dark, and on the way back, I felt this. No bullshit, that hard. I heard it, and I felt it. Right here. And I turned around. If I showed you my nipples right now, they're like this. Right? I have goosebumps just talking about it. I literally turn around, and there's nothing there. I get in my bed. I get in the couch, and I put my covers over me. I was sweating.
Wait, how old were you?
16, 17. Yeah, so I couldn't have been fooled as a kid. Okay, I could not have been fooled as a kid. So I'm sitting there, and I got the blanket over my head, and I'm just like in fear. I'm cold because of how scared I am, but I'm sweating because of how hot I am under the blankets, and I just could not like get over that. Since then, I literally choose to never talk about any paranormal activity. Has anything happened to you?
When I was, I would say like 9 or 10 or something, living at my stepdad's house.
What kind of house?
Just like a regular 2-story house. So I'm on the second story, even though it has nothing to do with this. I'm in my bedroom. Me and my brother have bunk beds at the time, and he's on the bottom. I'm on the top, and it was probably like midnight or like 1 a.m. or something like that. And I'm laying in bed. I don't know why I was awake. I think I like just woke up randomly, and I think the door was already open, but then someone walks into my room. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, okay, so are you awake?
Yes.
Lights are on? Lights are off?
No, lights are off.
And everything's pitch black. No light coming through the window, nothing.
There's a little bit of light to like see.
Yeah.
And it's a small room, so like I'm on the top bunk, like laying this way, and my door's right here, and I just see someone walk in. And they walk in and they stare at my mirror, and then they turn around and just walk back out. And it like kind of gives me chills just talking about it. But it was so fucking real because like I've had plenty of sleep paralysis things happen to where, and it's just like, damn, that's sleep paralysis. Like I remember one time I was with Mike, and we were in the hotel room, and in the hotel room, this like black shadow comes in and like just starts coming towards me. And I'm like, but then I wake up and I'm like, God, fuck. But like, there was none of that at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So like, to me, it was just like I see someone walk in, I'm just like, oh shit, and I'm just so scared. I don't yell or anything. I'm just like, they just like stare at my mirror for a couple of seconds, turn around and walk back out. And that was the weirdest shit that has ever happened to me.
And like, were you when the person or the shadow or whatever left the room, did you like fucking stand up, turn the lights on?
Nope.
You just fell
I
asleep.
just fucking laid there like
Still like
yeah,
yeah,
just fucking frightened.
Jesus.
And then just like I guess fell back asleep eventually.
I don't know what yo Josefa.
But I've been telling that story since I was like 13.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's so simple. It's not like, because a lot of times people will like think back to stuff, and it's like stuff that didn't happen, or it's like they'll just kind of forget exactly how it went. But
I'll
it's
never
like
forget.
so simple that like I know exactly how it went.
I will never forget.
And it's always stuck with me.
I have a sister that sleepwalks, or used to.
That's scary.
Yeah, her name is Jen. Shout out to Jenny. Bro, you're so Josefo is from Mexico. He's Spanish. I could tell from the second that he wasn't real Mexican. Then he confirmed the fact that he doesn't eat spicy food, and I was really disappointed. Have you? Do you have any weird? What are some weird things? Did you ever hear about putting blankets over mirrors so you didn't get struck with lightning? Okay. What else have you? What else have you heard? That's weird. Yeah. 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 Anything weird? Anything weirder than that? Nah. Have you ever experienced anything weird? Oh, I don't want to hear it.
What's the weirdest Mexican superstition that you know of? The one that's just like, God, that's so dumb. But maybe that's what I think.
Yeah, it is.
But
well,
like,
that one.
Like, I remember with Linda, I would, like, say stuff like that, just like, what? And she'd be
would say
like,
shit?
no. She'd be serious. Like, no. Like, no, don't play like that.
You can't. You can't play like that. It's like
no.
It's like even if there's a chance, like obviously, like science and common sense would dictate and point towards the fact that it isn't real or it's impossible in this metaphysical world or universe that could be a possibility. There are. Like the fact that there could be a chance, it might be true. Like, just makes me not want to even like do it. I don't.
Do you believe in like spirits or souls? And
Paige, do you believe in spirits or souls? She says yes. Do you, Maddie? No, not really. Do you?
Fucking white person. I do, like, just on like a energy type level.
NRG.
Because I feel like when people die, or just people in general, like what you're made up of, like broken down from like the atoms to the fucking below that, it's just like energy. And everything is made that we know of in the universe is energy. And all of this energy came from like sort of one certain point at one time. So it's almost like everyone's energy is kind of connected coming from somewhere, even though
Ancient
it's been
debris.
like millions and billions of years.
Yeah.
Everyone is connected in some sort of way. I was going to say, especially someone like I feel like when my mom passes away, I'm going to always feel her somehow. Like, it's like something you can't even explain. And like when my dad passed away, there's like something that it's like, I guess it's because like I'm him, really. But like, I don't know. There's just something about it to where I always feel like even if my mom passed away, I wouldn't. There's still things that I like, say like fucked up things that I still wouldn't do because like something about her energy is still around. Like,
Yeah, no, I get
sense?
100%.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that I do with like, if I'm about to do something, I maybe everything that I do, I always have my parents. Now Jude is part of that same feeling. Like I have those three set of eyes looking at me, like my mom, my dad, and then Jude. You know what I mean? So every single time I'm thinking about something like I don't even know how to explain. Like for example, going to Mexico, right? For my fishing trip, like immediately the first thing I thought about was my mom. My mom saying no, my dad saying just be careful, and then Jude saying just be careful. But I know exactly what you mean. It is. I know exactly what you feel when you say like you are your dad essentially. Like that connection. Like I see Liv and I know that's me. You know what I mean? And that's like weird, right?
I want a kid.
Do you?
Low key, yeah. I've been having like baby fever lately.
Oh shit, ladies, you're still single?
Yes.
At Optic Maniac.
Yes.
Okay. If you
Hit me up, ladies, that
Yeah.
watch HECZ's podcast.
Yeah. No one. We try the same thing for Dashi. No action. DMs dry. Baby fever. Do you think you're gonna have kids?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a kid. It's fucking one way or another.
Um.
I'm gonna go for like the baddest of baddies,
Yeah.
just to make sure my kid looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Then if I can't get one, I'm just gonna have to keep going until someone's gonna want to bang me.
Yeah. Someone somewhere.
And so I need a kid before I leave this earth.
You need to
Like,
leave something behind.
Imagine a Lil Niac.
Yeah.
What a I just know he'd be the coolest.
Do you? We were talking about on the
He
Optic.
better be.
We were talking about the Optic podcast. So now I changed. Now I know it's gonna be you then. Because we were wondering, like, who's the next person to have kids, right? Like, if you think about everybody in Optic, like Karma and I are the only ones with kids, right? Like, there's only Optic Bella
It's gonna
and
suck
Optic
whoever
Liv.
does have a kid.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like once people have a kid, it's just like, okay, they're kind of like gone
Yeah.
from like your life.
I don't know. I have a kid. I'm always here.
You're different, but like just imagine any one of us, or who I always think would have a kid first would be Flame.
Flame Sword?
Yeah. And I don't know. I just think when, rightfully so, when you have a kid, you just kind of like, you start your almost like a new life, and you kind of
You think that?
distance.
Yeah, you think that, but like like priority number one is always like Liv, obviously, right? Liv, my marriage, and then Optic. But when you have when you're so close to all three of those things, like it's part of your life, your everyday process. And I know that I don't spend enough time with Liv and Jude, both of them. And I also know that they understand, but I also know that there's like a little like I wish Dad spent more time here. But it doesn't really it changes a lot of people like very, very hard. And it depends on the partner that you also have with you, right? Like Judith is a very understanding woman. She's very, very common sense. She's very direct. Like she understands everything. So that made it easier for me to be able to do the things that I do, like navigate the way that I do with the freedom that I navigate under. But I don't know. Some people do just disappear off the face of the earth.
Like I feel like when I have a kid, I'm gonna like not want to ever leave Like I feel like I could just like hold little Niac and just be like,
what if you
just
have a girl?
like fucking with him. Same thing.
Yeah.
Until they get older.
Girls are
I just think,
different.
don't be a fucking
What?
slut. That's all I'm scared of is having a girl and her being a slut.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like
there's
it's a bad connotation. The way you say
that
it's
would just suck.
Yeah. Well, why?
Having a slutty daughter?
Don't call her that, dude. You can't call her that.
Yeah, I can.
I mean, she's yours, I guess, but you can't. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd still love her, but she'd just be.
you'd just be like, but she's like you, right? She's very very good looking, so obviously she's gonna have different partners. It's nature, dude.
Yeah.
My mentality on that particular thing has changed throughout the years, but only because Judith has like instilled it in me, like, you know, common sense. At some point or other, she is gonna have a boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like, and you're gonna have to be okay with it. And I'm like, fuck that. No, I am not. You wanna bet? Like, you know, it's like nobody tells me what to do. Period. Already, you think that I'm allowed to be? I don't have to be okay with nothing. First of all, but it is a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And you know, by the time that you have a kid, and you know, I think society is gonna get to the point to where people aren't gonna be fucking. I don't want to call them bad names, but people aren't gonna be morons and put the same sort of stigma on women who have a lot of partners. Like, it's their right. It's their, you know, why can we be hunters
I don't
and not
necessarily. I don't have a problem with like promiscuous girls.
promiscuous boys?
In fact, I don't have a problem with promiscuous girls or the fucking horny girls or like girls that just want to like have multiple partners because from like a natural
Selection.
human evolution, fucking like it's just built in you, and like that's just what humans did, especially before like these last few 100 years or whatever. Like I'm sure people were banging all the time. What was my point? Oh, I don't have a problem with that. I feel like what it's some if they're honest with it, then like I can accept that.
Yeah.
But if they're like,
If they get caught, like 3 side dudes,
like I can tell
and
you
her boyfriend.
what I don't know if this really has to do with even what I'm saying, but what pisses me off is when girls have an OnlyFans account, but they tweet about being depressed.
Okay.
And it's just like no wonder like you're taking such a like easy way out, and you're literally selling you naked for guys to pretty much beat off to. And
I don't think that's their mentality, but that's essentially what happens.
That they're not being honest with themselves then. But to do that and then to like, I don't know, I feel bad because I don't want anyone to feel depressed and shit, but it's like girls will take that easy way out of like just letting everyone see them naked just for like quick cash. But then they'll like talk about being depressed, and every OnlyFans girl I see on Twitter, it's like her tweets are always sad or like I'm alone. I feel so alone, and it's just like, well, fucking stop, like stop doing that. And what actually pisses me off, and the thing is, I have no problem if you want to make an OnlyFans account, go ahead. But doing that and then having a kid and knowing that kid, if my mom would have had an OnlyFans account and I had to grow up and go to school with kids with phones and iPads and fucking
you came from the
yes, and my fucking mom's like everyone at school can see my mom naked, even like porn stars and stuff. I definitely don't. I mean, I watch some porn, so I guess I support it.
Yeah.
But like, fuck.
That's the most human thing there is, though. It's only okay if you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When somebody else is doing it, it's like, oh, you have a problem. But if you do, you know what I mean?
To grow up with a mom that, like, you know, the people surrounding you, like your school or like all those kids are gonna be seeing your mom naked. You're gonna be getting clowned on all the time. You're gonna like. It's just it pisses me off that they're doing this.
But what if they stop?
It pisses me off that they're doing it for this quick cash. if they genuinely like to have sex and don't give a
They're
fuck,
exhibitionists. Yeah.
and they don't care about being on camera, like they actually love to do it.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite porn stars.
Yeah.
But if they're just doing it for this quick cash,
Yeah.
and like they know the type of shit that's gonna like be on their kids and all that. Like if I grew up with a mom who was a porn star or just selling herself naked, and I had to deal with all that, it would be so shit unless she was just like the realest motherfucker ever and was just like, Nick, this is just who I am. And like you're gonna have to accept that, and like I like dick. So
For the record, I mean, there's a lot of people that like dick.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with it.
as long as they're like honest with it and just like real about it. And
But it's that's like that part is so part of being human, right? The
and I
sexual
know I'm
attraction.
contradicting myself
No,
in ways.
I know what you're saying. Like in certain scenarios, I know what you're saying. But the sexual attraction, that's just something that's embedded in your DNA that you have nothing, you have almost no option on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you like what you like, and that's that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how we got on that topic.
I don't know either.
Oh, having a daughter.
I went off in a
Yeah,
I went off on the tangent.
We went
'cause
from little Niac to
I was playing with Niac, just his arms and shit.
yeah, and then I said, "What if you have a girl?" And then that's when we spun out into this crazy conversation. I figured at the ripe age of 19 years old, 1999. I don't know what it is that I saw in the news or what I saw or what I heard or whatever, but I said, I'm like, man, if like, why do I care? You know what I mean? I was sitting there reading or watching something that I said, I'm like, that's none of my business.
No.
I mean, like that person is never gonna affect me. When I would hear about, this relationship in I went to college for maybe like a semester, but when I would hear like bullshit about a relationship happening, like I didn't go into the drama of it. I'm like, oh my god, or fucking be like, I'm so anti gossip and so anti just like talking shit about other people that I just like I very early on I said, if it's not hurting anybody, like who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In an era where homosexuality wasn't accepted as it is today, right? Like even back then, I was like, it's none of my business. You know what I mean? So
I feel like what kind of turns me off about it is that they're hurting. They're like I said, unless they're like perfectly comfortable with it and happy with it, then go ahead. But if like it's like everyone I see is just like depressed and they're like hurting themselves, or they're gonna eventually hurt their kids, or
if they have kids.
yeah, if they have kids.
But let me ask you this question, right? Let's say somebody is,
but they can't live for someone else.
they can't, yeah. But think about this. Let's say how I mean, you're 27,
9.
29. Think about this, right? 20 years ago was the last time, in theory, that your mom posted an OnlyFans post. It has been 20 years since that has been in the internet. Within those 2 decades, you could have erased all history of that. I mean, yeah, there's obviously going to be like little pictures here and there if you really look for them. But unless you're like a super famous person, like I don't think anybody would fucking notice that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if kids or women who are doing the OnlyFans things like right now, like I don't think that in theory, if you think about it, like they could do it for the next year, cash out, erase fucking everything.
Nope. They're gonna be there forever. Watch.
What, money's too good?
They're screenshotted everywhere. Like you're gonna be able to find your fucking. If your naked pics are on OnlyFans, they're there forever. They're gonna be out for the rest of your life.
Who watches pics now, anyways? You know, it's like it's the moving pictures, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't
Moving
know.
pictures. Like who? Like I think about how many people do you think still buy like magazines? Who do you think is like
No one.
Yeah, who buys like VHSs or DVDs of porn?
I've only thought about subscribing to one OnlyFans, and that was.
Who? Can you say who?
Her. I mean, she's not like a gamer girl or some girl on Instagram who I have just always found to be so attractive.
Name?
I'm just like, I have to see you naked.
Name?
Her Instagram name is like Boots of Feline or something. But I just always had a thing for her. And I think she has an OnlyFans. I was just like, I want to see you naked. But, yes. Her.
Okay.
Um,
And you have?
no,
Oh, you haven't.
no. I've just thought about it.
L.A. to Austin, Texas.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, she's got. I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
there is
reach
hope.
out. Yeah, maybe there's hope. Yeah, again, it's one of those things where like, man, the amount of there's so many worse things that people could be doing. Not only that, but then you like I don't even want to go into this this next or this what that topic would have led to, right? Like the oldest profession in the world, right? Like prostitution. That's not legal. Like why? There are millions of people out there that are so socially awkward that they would never like do it, but they still need that release, right? It's a human thing you can't control. It's in your nature. And when you sort of like vilify or say that that's not a thing, like that puts a lot of people in situations to, I don't know, live an unhappy life. I don't know. Neither here or there. Okay, I don't want to turn this into something crazy. Let me on that note, let me kick it over to the sponsors. I don't know. I just think that that everything that is regulated the right way, like there is a possibility to make something of it, right? Like I again, if it is not hurting people and if it's not negatively impacting kids in your example, like it's their things, man. Like it's their body. Somebody I was doing a panel once at a college, and somebody asked me, he's like, "Hey, what do you think of titty streamers?" And I was like I don't think anything of it. That's none of my business. If a woman chooses to do whatever she chooses to do,
Oh, if I was a girl, I'd be sexiest. I'd let my titties hang.
yeah. My answer to that was like, what she chooses to do is like her business, none of my business. Again, as long as she's not hurting or whatever, like it's none of my business. You know, who are we the fuck to say it's like, yeah, don't show titties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I hate having those sort of discussions because I don't care about it. That I don't want. I don't. It always turns into something like more than it shouldn't. Anyway, let's kick it over to the sponsor really quickly, and then we'll be right back. All right. So Curology being the sponsor of this week, Curology is something that I personally use, obviously. As you can see, the 41-year-old baby face that you see in front of you. Curology makes skincare effortless. They create custom skincare formula for your skin goals. They've also got a cleanser and moisturizer that are easy on your skin and super easy to use. Most of the time, I get home, wash my hands, wash my face, and then I go on about my day. I'll have dinner with the family. I'll go play some video games. And then when it's time to go to bed, that's when I really get into the skincare because I care about it, okay? Now, in a place in which I am always in front of the camera, I want to make sure that fighting the age factor is something that I obviously take super seriously, right? Everything ships right to your door, and your first 30 days are completely free. You just have to cover $5 for shipping and handling. Sign up for Curology in minutes by sharing your skin type and skin goals, and licensed provider can create a custom formula made for you, like one personalized formula that's literally for you. Whether you're struggling with acne, dark spots, or just wanting something simple and straightforward. They've also got amazing products that you can add onto your subscription. Acne body wash, emergency spot patches, so you can do it up. Keep it simple, something super easy. Again, personally, forever and always, I've always taken care of it, of the skin, that is, whether it's my face, my body. Doing a lot of fishing, right? Like lately, especially in the last 5 years, like I see how it affects my hands specifically when I'm out there on the daily, just reeling in, and like getting beat up by the sun. This definitely helps with that. So I'm super happy to say that we're sponsored by them. Yeah. If you're ready for healthier skin and a routine that makes sense to you, do what I did. Give Curology a go. Go to Curology.com/H3CC for a free 30-day trial. Just pay for shipping and handling. That's CUROLOGY.com/H3CZ and unlock your 30-day free trial. See security.com for all the details, which will be listed down below as usual and as per usual. Anyway, back to my man, Nick. So, again, huge shout out to Curology for hooking it up on the sponsorship, and also thank you for the product. I do use it, and I'll continue to use it. I do care very, 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 very much about the appearance. You know what it is about me though too, is that I work in an industry where it's super, super young. You know what I mean? The other thing that I always get mad at is that my generation, my 90s generation, came up with streetwear. You know what I mean? So for somebody to say it's like you shouldn't be wearing like that, you're fucking 40. I'm like, first of all, I got a different suit for when I need a suit. You know what I mean? I could be whatever, but my generation invented it. You don't get to fucking tell me what to do with that. First of all, I'm 40 years old. You're never gonna tell me what to fucking wear. Secondly, we invented it, so fuck you. You're the copycat.
Yeah. You know what I've realized lately? Because I've had to shut with all the fucking storms and shit around this area. I haven't been able to do laundry, so I've been buying shit from like Walmart, and I don't give a fuck like if it's big or what. But I've been buying like big because everything's fucking sold out. So I have to get like an extra large fucking crew neck sweatshirt. And I'm like, it's comfy, and it's like, damn, I've been wearing like tight ass pants, and it's like, you know, those jeans that like just don't really fit anymore, but you fucking
no.
But you have to like squeeze in, button it, and it's like your fucking tubby hangs over the button, and it's just like tight.
So the last decade,
and it's been
or
like
2 for me.
Yeah. So it's been, and it's just like so uncomfortable. But like wearing like my outfit right now is straight out of Walmart.
You couldn't tell.
Besides the fucking
the heat.
Besides these, and even I showed these on stream, and they were like, "Those from Walmart," and I'm like, "They kind of do look like some Walmart shoes."
Way to go, Kanye.
Yeah, but I'm like, damn, I might be off I might go back to the '90s and just fucking wearing fat ass, big ass, baggy.
It's gonna come around. It's gonna come. Everything is cyclical, man. It comes and goes. It's always like when my brother was in high school, they were doing the pin what do you call it, the pant leg pin roll up, like it's really thin. And my brother, I would look at him I'm like, what the fuck? What are you, 1993 again? Because that's when Jinko, Z Cavaricis, you name it, Jinko, Gecko, like all those hammer pants, like were going on. And here's my brother wearing that. Hitch wears hammer pants all day long. Right, so that's the other part of this thing, right? Like everything that people are wearing now, like I've already worn as a style twice in my lifetime because I'm that old. First, the original time, then when it came back, and then a third time now when the millennials are bringing it back. These little hype beasts. But that's the whole point of it, right? Like the fact that these kids nowadays were paying premium prices for champion hoodies and sweats, bro. No bullshit.
Champion was whack when I was a kid.
I had to get that for gym. I'm like $14 for sweatpants and hoodie.
Yeah.
Put that in the bag. I'm wearing that every color, blue, black, and that's it. Yeah, blue and black. No grays, no whites, no reds. Just blue and black. Period. So when it came back and it's like, yo, champion this, champion that, I was like. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's been cool. Wore that shit in 1996, 97.
I remember I used to look at Champion like it was like whack because when I was growing up, it was like Jordans and Nike. And then as I got a little older, Adidas started being cool. And then fucking a little older after that, now Champion's cool.
Yeah, New Balances was what I wore.
New Balances as well. New Balance was a huge East Coast, like sort of DMV area, like Maryland, Virginia, Jersey, PA. New Balance was a big, almost like the dad bump. Just New Balance in general, people would always wear.
New Balance was like the de facto shoe wear for every graffiti writer that I've ever known. Every graffiti writer that I've ever known has always worn New Balances, and that's why I like New Balances. You know what I mean? So it's like I've liked every single. You know what's messed up, and I'm glad that it happened the way that it did. In high school, I couldn't afford Jordans. My parents couldn't afford to buy me Jordans, so I never wore Jordans, right? But now that I can, and I wear them, and I buy them, how the fuck is that a basketball shoe?
Yeah, and Jordan actually played in those.
Jordan actually played in them. His foot must have been like this thin, right? Because my foot is like fucking not Hodor's. What's his name? Yeah, Hodor or Bilbo Baggins. You know what I mean? Like it's just a super white foot where I'm just like, man, that shit don't fit me.
Yeah.
You know. So when I wore my Cause 4s to TwitchCon, the only time I've been to TwitchCon, wore them from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Bro, my pinky came home like this.
Yeah.
My pinky toe was just like, yo, never wear them shits
There's
again.
some Jordans though. I don't know the numbers and shit by heart, but there's some Jordan, like the Jordan I can't even describe it. But there are some Jordans that I put on. I'm like, damn, I could ball in these.
No,
But then there's other Jordans where I'm like, nope.
no.
Like,
There's not a single Jordan that I could play basketball in.
I'll have to show you or look it up. Fucking, I don't have my phone, but I'll show you afterwards. But there's some Jordan. It's just fucking. Let me see.
I could tell, like the Jason Kidd's is one that I wanted that I never wore. The ones with the bubble on
I want to bring the Allen
the
Iversons
questions
back.
with the honeycombs.
Fuck
I wore
yeah.
those. The ones that I wore all the time were the Tai Chi's by N1. Like N1 was my brand growing up. Like that was like the
N1?
brand. Yeah.
I just bought some N1 pants from Walmart.
Did you? That's still around. Like think about that. That shit's still around. Vince Carter won the 1990 whatever dunk contest on the Tai Chi's. And it was like the first time that I ever seen anyone like at that level dunk the way that he was dunking. So immediately I became a massive fan of it. But yeah, like my basketball shoes had to have like a wide. They had to be mids, not lows and not highs. They had to be mids, and they had to. I don't know. Your socks couldn't be showing, so I would fold my tube socks like down my foot to make them like ankle socks. But yeah, the Jordans are not.
The Jordan 11s is what I put on, and I'm like, these are actually like comfy.
Yeah. I disagree.
And I like I'd like almost want to play I honestly might. When
You
we
should
start our
try it.
basketball league.
Yeah. You should try. You should
Fuck
at least
yeah.
try it just so you can regret it and never
But I'm
do
like,
it again.
damn, these shits were like
There's not a single Jordan shoe
$300.
that I would ever fucking play basketball in. These are walking shoes. These are stunting shoes. These are not jump up and then cut someone.
what I don't get is the Jordan 1s. Fucking how
The original skate shoe?
How was he playing basketball in those?
I don't know, but I'm glad technology happened because holy shit, man. I don't know. I don't think that I could ever. Aside from that, which is what I'm saying. Look, all my friend, like Eric, I think he had like every single iteration of that. But we never like. I would see them. I'm like, man, they look so dope. I wish I could play in them. But then when I put them on and I started walking in them, like later on in life, I was just like mind blown at how bad of a shoe it actually is. And like for example, like the ones that you're wearing right now, those would be more comfortable to play in because they just seem
Fuck yeah.
much more solid. You
They
know what I mean?
are.
I don't know.
These
Right
are-
on.
These are real comfy.
I don't know, but Yeezys, like you couldn't play in the like 350s or or
Yeah.
any of those V1s or whatever. You just couldn't. It's just not. I don't know, and I don't know if I could still play basketball. Right? Like
I don't know if I can play basketball. Period.
we should go try at least.
Yeah.
We are gonna try. We're gonna be in a league as soon as COVID lifts.
Fucking jerseys and shit. Have Roger on the sidelines recording. Imagine he like mics us up. So
Mike, who?
like mics us up in the
Mike's
basketball
us up.
game.
Yeah.
Fucking so they can hear. That'd actually be
This shit.
funny.
No, let's not do that.
We would get destroyed.
All right, so it's you, me. I'm point guard. Obviously,
You're saying that just because I said it.
no, but I should be.
Why would the person with the best handles not bring the ball up the court?
My point exactly, and thank you for finally admitting to it. So we have me, you. Hitch says he'll play, and he's athletic. He plays soccer. He played basketball, so he's good. Flame Sword, obviously, he says he'll play. But who's our fifth? Because Maddie doesn't know how to play ball. I could tell.
We need a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, an 8th.
And well, we need the whole bench.
We might need 10.
Yeah, we
just
might need 10.
Every 2 minutes, just swap an entire.
Pamaj ain't playing. I've seen him hoop, and my goodness,
He's pretty bad.
have you ever seen a freshly born giraffe?
Exactly.
That's Pamaj.
Yeah.
Now you put him on skates though, the dude's a swan. The dude is just magical.
On skates?
Yeah, on ice skates.
Have
For
you ever seen him on ice skates?
I've seen videos. I think that was him.
Interesting.
I think that was him. Well, actually, you know
I would
what?
like to see
I'm
that.
gassing it. I don't know if he can. I've seen him do, the charity where he gives kids, uniforms and shit. That's dope.
I want to see y'all rollerblade.
I want to see me. You
Like
see that?
everyone. I used to be hella good at rollerblading.
Me too.
Smooth as fuck.
Ice skate. I mean, regular skates and rollerblading.
Ice skates, regular skates.
I don't know about ice skates.
any
Ice
type
skates
of
for some
skate.
reason,
But put on rollerblades now, it's like it's so
No.
scary.
no, because you have a brake. Those you have brakes on. The ice skates are the ones that are like tougher. Every single time I've been ice skating in the last decade, my upper butt cheek on both sides hurts.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm standing weird or not, but
It's
like it's so painful
something
my
with the
ass
back.
that I'm just like it's just not my thing. But yeah, I'm excited to play this ball, man. I identified all my life as a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Like you grow up and you're like, it wasn't. I'm not. I never said I'm a graffiti writer. I said I'm a basketball player. Then as I got fatter and I started, life got in the way and I had to get a job and I'm sitting in fucking corporate fucking ladder America and I'm just sitting there typing, picking up phones, eating everything in sight. That's when it all went to shit. But the stroke's still there. You know what I mean? That shit never goes away. When you're naturally gifted at being an athlete, it never goes away. Which is why I always say to Dr. Disrespect, this dude had the nuts. The fucking look, I'm like, and I told him too. I told him look, you're out of character right now. Okay, you're not Dr. I'm looking at you. You don't have no wig on. Your glasses aren't on. I'm looking at Guy Beam in his fucking face at the bar, and I'm like, I know you're not gonna bet me right now that I can't score once on you for $10,000. Yeah,
Is that what he said?
he says I'll play you up to 11 by ones. You'll have $10,000, and I'm like, bro, there's zero chance that I don't score once in what it takes you to score 11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless it's make it take it, and he just fucking dominates you.
even if it was make it take it.
Well, it's gonna be make it take it.
Yeah, and he can have ball. I'll let him open. I'm gonna end the game. It's got to be entertaining.
Yeah.
But I saw him. I'm like, dude, I'm looking at you. You're out of character right now. Okay?
Imagine that would be a good video if he actually came with like a costume or his fucking Doc outfit.
No one's. I'm not gonna take him serious. Then I'm just gonna fucking lay it up on him.
That would be even better.
I play too much basketball to not score once on anybody in the world.
I don't know. He's tall.
Yeah. So what?
He'll just D you up hard.
All the muscle that you see on him, it's not real.
It's not muscle. It's just fucking size in general. He's just
it's
long.
Air. It's air.
It's just long.
No, look, don't get me wrong. He did play college ball.
No,
we're gonna see it. Look, the beauty about this thing is that it's going to happen, whether it happens on camera or not. It doesn't matter. Well, I've never let no man say that I can't score once on him. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, prove me that I can't. You know what I mean? Like, if I can't score, then fuck. All right, cool. But even in my condition right now, where if I go and jump and make a layup, I'm losing like 2 inches off my hops already because I'm carrying a good 25 over. I'm still gonna score. There's zero chance that I don't score. Zero chance that I don't score fucking once. Zero chance. Anyway,
I believe.
Last part of the segment here. How have you been? You've been out the junk for a long time.
Yeah, I've been out the can for almost a month now. It's going good though.
Yeah.
It's like this is the most sober I've been in fucking 10 plus years. Like especially like completely sober, no weed, no alcohol, no nothing. I believe today. What's today's date?
24th.
24th. So I am 56 days completely sober.
56?
Yep.
Damn.
56 days sober. And it's been good.
Has it been a struggle?
No, it's been easy.
Yeah.
Like what was a struggle was the first just going to fucking rehab was a struggle.
Why?
Because that's like the first, your brain is so like fucked up that, and then they just like they just completely like rip you off everything. And they give you like the lightest amount of something for you to like not completely break down. So the first like 2 weeks of that was fucking like just bad.
Did you have like withdrawals, like sweating and shit like that?
Yeah, like the first, I would say the worst part was like the anxiety. Like the first week I was in there, I was like freaking out on nurses. Day 2 and like
day 30, they're hugging you and crying on the way out.
The anxiety and the boredom, like because you're so bored. I was talking to someone the other day about some treatment centers allow phones, and I don't think you should allow phones because all right, So I'm in rehab, fucking not allowed a phone. The only
10 minutes a day, right?
every like 3 or 4 days a week.
Oh, shit.
And it's not your phone. It's the phone on the wall. So you're not like texting people all in 10 minutes. Like you have to have like some numbers memorized or you can write them down. And it'd just be like my mom was the only person I like talked to. So you're just bored as fuck. And especially when you're used, like being bored is easy if you're like getting high on something. But being bored is so difficult when you first start out being sober because then you have to like deal with your mind and your wandering thoughts. And so just like the first week in there, and what I thought was going to happen was like, I'm going to stay to myself. I'm going to be in my room. But that's like the complete opposite of what happened. I found myself always kind of coming out of my room, always like wondering, making like friends in there, sort of being like the class clown in there, and just almost just trying to make light of my situation. But like the first 2 weeks was it was bad. Like I would try to be in my room because like I would get like social anxiety and just going from always numbing myself of like that sort of anxiety to then just having to straight up deal with it in a new situation and a new surrounding or with new surroundings, with new people. It's just like so overwhelming. But I'm glad I was put through that because that made me like anything. What's the fucking saying? Anything that you go through, you'll grow through, or some shit like that, or I don't know, something like that. But like just having to go through those situations made me comfortable with just like ever dealing with it again. Like going to rehab and being forced. Well, I wasn't technically forced to do anything. It was just like, if you're not gonna comply, then you have to leave. I was like, well, there's no way I can leave, or that wouldn't have been good. Or like be forced to leave, or that wouldn't have been good. So I'm just like forced to show up, and like I remember it's the first AA meeting that we had in there, which is like every other, it might have been every day, might have been every other day, but like a few times a week we'll have AA meetings to where it's like we all gather in the lunchroom and we sort of set a topic or a tone for what we're going to talk about, and then everyone just like kind of goes quiet, and whoever wants to speak speaks.
Yeah.
And from like the very first day, I kind of like I just had something in me just was saying to say something, because like that was like a fear of mine of like being uncomfortable. So I'll just like be quiet and like tuck it in.
So you would be, as a professional Halo player, a person that's played on stage, a person that's been around people a bunch of times that want to take your picture, want to hang out, want to talk to you, want to ask you questions. You were still afraid of talking in public?
Fuck yeah. Then I still am. Like doing, like even during my Halo days, I would hate doing interviews. I would turn down interviews. Like I'd be like, nope, I'm not doing it. Like because then like a pre match interview, like I'd always say no, I'm not doing it. Especially because I'd be on Addy too, so I'm like more zombie like and fucking just more paranoid and more anxious. Just having like all that adrenaline and stuff. So I'd always say no to shit. Like I've only done maybe like 2 interviews in my entire Halo career. Even when I was on Optic, I was like, no, like
Mike.
Flame Sword.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was always like I made it a point to like at least while I'm in there to try to like get the most out of it that I can. So like speaking, like there were some nights, like I was saying, we'd all gather in the cafeteria, and I made it a point from the beginning to like say something. It's just sometimes I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna say, but I knew I was scared to say something. But something deep inside me was like just telling me to say something. Like I had all this energy and like had to put it somewhere. So from the very beginning, I was sort of like talking publicly, and like sometimes my like voice would be shaking, and like I'm just like tapping my foot and all that shit. But like eventually, I got comfortable, and honestly, even up until the end, I was still uncomfortable with like, because I'm always thinking in my head, I don't know what to say. Okay, I do have something to say, but it's not that long. So and like other people are coming with like 5-minute answers, and I'm like, shit, I don't like mine might be like 10 seconds, and I'm like overthinking. And then it got to the point where the end, if I'm sitting there thinking like, what do I say? How do I end it? What am I going to talk about in the middle? What are people going to think? Is this relevant? And then it got to the point where at the end, I'm like, just fucking, if I like catch myself in that headspace, I'm like, just say something. And the start to doing that would just be like, hi, my name's Nick, I'm an addict.
Yeah.
And then I would just like, sometimes I would say that and then just take like a 5-second pause or something and just be like, all right.
Yeah.
And then I would like start talking about stuff, and like everyone's just dead quiet. So it's like there was a few times where I would start talking about stuff, and like I could feel myself like wanting to cry, and like so I'd like have to like take a breather, and like everyone's just dead quiet and like very understanding, and everyone's in the same fucked up situation. So it's like no one's really judging you. Like I met a lot of like young, cool.
Were you judging people?
No. Yeah, but not really.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
If anyone ever said anything, even if I was like, that didn't really make sense, but I would like be proud of them for saying something because I know what that uncomfortable feeling is like. So I'm like just proud of them for saying anything. Doesn't matter if they completely fucking fuck it up, or choke or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, that's one of the that's a lot of people's biggest fear is public speaking.
And it's still my fear.
Really?
Like going to an AA meeting outside of here was still like I was like super nervous, and like I wasn't even gonna say anything. My first meeting, I was just like, let me just go.
Yeah.
And then I sat there and I was like, man, I'm like nervous to say something, but like the subject at hand, I had like an opinion about. So I was like, so I have to say something.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And what I ended up talking about was like this exactly. I was like, I always come to these meetings and like I don't really know what I'm gonna say, but there's something in me to like say something, and it's just like even on the drive here, I'm always thinking like, what am I gonna say? And that's like the anxiety that I live with inside my head, and it's just like, and I've just started learning like I don't fucking care if I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel something, which people and my psychiatrist told me was a spiritual awakening, because they say a lot of that in there.
Mm-hmm.
But like just having that something that says to say something, or just like me saying that, and then afterwards having that calm feeling, like even if I didn't say something that intelligent, I'd still be like tell myself like good job.
Yeah.
And like this calming effect. And he was like, that's your spiritual experience.
Mm.
So I've learned to start doing that. I would always say the best thing I learned in rehab was to, and it's going to be different for everyone, but for me, it was to learn to express myself and not depress myself.
Mm. Damn. That's deep. I wasn't worried from the beginning. Like even you getting out, like I wasn't worried. It was an eye-opening experience for me to see. Like, I've seen addicts throughout my life. You know what I mean? And I've seen bad ones, and I've seen people that are function. Like you, like when it happened to you, I really couldn't believe it, right? Because you don't seem like the type that would fall into that. And for a long time, I'm like, he's one of those accidental addicts where he just did too much of one thing that should have never happened, and it would have never happened. But when it happened to you, I was like, damn, it literally can happen to anyone, right? If you go down that path, it could happen to you. So, but I wasn't worried when you got out. I'm like, I knew that you were gonna be.
I was.
You were worried?
Fuck yeah, I was scared. Like we would talk about how, and everyone in there is kind of the same way, of like towards the end of rehab, it starts getting easy in there. And what we're scared of is coming back to the real world, but being sober. So like I knew coming out, I wasn't gonna relapse, which is the scariest part. Like knowing I'm not gonna use I want to say I'm not. Well, okay, I'm not gonna use Xanax or Adderall for the rest of my life. And like coming to that realization was the scariest part because those were always my crutches for like uncomfortable situations. The Xanax always. I was way more scared of not taking Xanax than Adderall because Xanax like makes it seem like everything's okay. So I was definitely worried about coming here and being on camera, not on Xanax, and because I always was, not one time.
I noticed the one time when you joined after Mutineers, but before that, like,
That was like a weird because I've taken more than that.
Yeah,
and nothing like that has ever happened to me.
yeah.
But like,
You think it was the whiskey?
no, I think it was being.
Because it was like fucking 10 o'clock in the morning,
and I
you're
took
like,
like
"Yo."
a shot.
Yeah, you're like, yo, make me a drink, and I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
you're a grown man.
Yeah.
But then that was the one where I was
No,
just like,
it definitely wasn't the alcohol. I mean, you shouldn't mix benzos in what it was.
I didn't give it to him. It was just a normal thing.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't like I knew he was on fucking benzos.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, drink this shit.
Yeah.
But you're like, you had just come back, and you were like, yo, you know. The other thing too is like I saw a difference in you.
And nothing wrong with just having a drink,
Yeah.
which is what it was at the time.
I'm glad you were worried. Like I wasn't, because I knew that, I don't know, I just don't, like, I keep an eye on you now, right? Like I'm always like, you know, staring at you. I'm like now, and I'm like, if I see you fucking do one of these, I'm punching you. But like I sometimes I'm like, man, I wonder what it's like. And then you'll be like, yeah, like last night I was maybe thinking about, like, I felt like I was bored, I wanted to take something.
I still get the urges like every night of just, it's when I go home to sleep and I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna fall asleep for like a few hours. Then I'm like, God, it would be like watching TV is just not as fun anymore. Laying there on my phone's not as fun anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people, and I feel we're talking about this because I'm going into that industry. Like a lot of people should have gone almost the other path, right? Like if they would have just been given access to something that's not as lethal or as deadly as the shit that you were taking, like CBD like fucking helps, right? Like CBD would like allow you to fall asleep where you are taking something, but it's not something that's gonna fucking be debilitating when you know what I mean, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, what I think is my first step to because I was taking CBD, I've been taking like a CBD oil, like droplets. I was doing that for a while. Then like that, I actually do. What I don't like is taking something and feeling nothing from it, like vitamins. Even though there are certain vitamins you should take. But what I think my first step is going to be for like at night use only, because a lot of people, I'll get to that. But what my first step is gonna be I'm gonna buy what I had before, which was the CBD pen with just like a little THC, and because I really do just have a problem with falling asleep and staying asleep and getting good sleep. So that's gonna be my first dabble of having THC or something to make me not sober technically.
Yeah.
My first dabble is I'm gonna get to 60 days first, and then I'm gonna do it. Just because I just want to get to 60 days sober.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna dabble into a CBD pen with just like a little THC in it. But what I know is gonna be for sleep only. Like I can't do that shit during the day. It just makes me lazy. But what I know I can't do and what I've learned is that dabbling into stuff like that, it'll start out as like just at night for sleep. Then I'm gonna wake up one day with nothing to do. Be like, let me just smoke all day and eat. It's my day off. And then a week will go by, and it's like, I'm not doing nothing today either. Then it'll turn into once a week. Then it'll turn into weekends. Then it'll turn and this will happen over like months. So if I ever then pass the point of only doing it at night when I'm laying there and it's like at least 10 p.m. and I know I'm just gonna do this and like try to go to sleep.
And you think the recreational side is just not something that you can that you can, like, your mind can control or your mind can deal with, do you think it'll lead to something else?
Um,
Like drinks, for example,
I
like when we had the poker party and there was drinks around, like I'm in the back
no.
of my head, I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm gonna see whether or not he's gonna drink. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I planned on drinking,
Yeah, yeah.
but I was like, I really don't like. I don't care,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm not uncomfortable enough to have to drink. I'm surrounded by like people I know, and long story short, moral of the story is I won that poker game.
Yeah.
So it's like,
They throw
and
in
I,
the scumper jumper.
yeah, and I was like the only one like not drinking. So it's just like Sobniak wins again.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good message.
but what was that talk? Oh, I truly believe that weed is a gateway drug, but because it's just like getting high is getting high. Whether it doesn't matter what it is, like prescription drugs, weed, alcohol, changing your mental state with something
Mm-hmm.
is a gateway to something else because you're gonna feel what it's like to
Not all the time. Like I've never.
to most people
Yeah.
no. So for most people no. But for other people who maybe struggle mentally more than you or are just built differently, it could be in their genetics,
Yeah.
whatever. There's something, we call it an allergy, to where it's like when you change your mental state with something, drugs, alcohol, fucking exercise, sex, doesn't matter. When you change your mind state with something, you are now aware of what it's like to change your mind state, and you get sort of, a lot of people would just get a comfortable feeling of doing that. Like
Mm-hmm.
they'll be more comfortable if they change their
Yeah.
mindset or their state of mind. So they'll just like find more ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And once they keep finding ways to do that, if you're like me, you'll find something else to replace that or for something stronger. And that just happens over a long period of time, sometimes shorter than others. But for me specifically now, I'm so aware of that that I'm not afraid of. I'm afraid of what hurts my life and what patterns hurt my life, and I'm aware of what doesn't. If I just smoke at night or some CBD or whatever at night for sleep, I'm very aware of like I still have I'm still in complete control of my life. Now the second I start, will that make me crave for other things? Not really, because for me specifically, because I'm past the point. I'm at a point now where it's like it's not an option to try other stuff. There's no Xanax. I'll never take Xanax again. I'll never take Adderall again. It's just not an option. And once I like came to terms with that, that's when like shit kind of got simple and easy for me now, to where I'm like I could smoke if I wanted to. Will that lead to something else? No, because that's not an option anymore. Same way where you say that you've smoked, but it's never led to anything, because I'm sure those other things just weren't an option for you to take.
No, there were options. Like
I'm sure you had the availability,
Yeah.
but like to you as a person, you're like, nope, that's not gonna be me,
for me, it
and
was.
that's not gonna be me now.
I've never, and all through high school, I didn't do anything. I was a straight edge. I found pride in that shit. I was just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not. I don't drink. I don't do any of that. Then I graduated, graduation day, 1997, whatever, June, July, whatever, middle of football field, smoked a joint for the first time ever. And then that's, my fear was always that, right? Like it will lead to something else. But I've been around all of it. Everything that you can think of. I shroomed once, twice. So in that particular scenario, it did actually make me want to try mushrooms, right? Because I was like, oh shit, if this is like this, and this is gonna be like that. So in that particular period, it did, but it didn't carry through. Like I haven't touched shrooms since December 31st, 1999. I know that because it was a very memorable experience. So for me, it doesn't. Cigarettes, I've never had a single cigarette in my fucking life.
It's
You know
not
what I mean?
worth.
It's not. It's just not me. It's a nicotine.
Yeah.
I have a very addictive personality, as bad as anybody else you know. Right? Like I liked the way graffiti looks, so I fucking hammered myself every single night drawing letters until I got. Because I don't have artistic. Now I have an artistic talent, but it's a learned talent, not something that was given to me. Like my friend Omens, like all my other graffiti friends that are like super talented individuals. That was a God given talent that they apply themselves and they worked at it, but that's just something that they just were meant to be, and that's why they were good at it, right? Like my fear was always like, I know that I'm gonna get addicted to something if I really, really enjoy it, like this lifestyle, right? Like doing the optic thing. Like I'm addicted to optic. I'm addicted to the esports thing. I'm addicted to like things of that nature. Call of Duty or whatever, Minecraft or whatever, but it's not something that it's debilitating. But on the drug side, like I knew that it was never going to lead to that. Like I've been around coke all my life. You know what I mean? I've been around. I haven't been really around. It was just not something that appealed to me, or not something that I did. One fear that it's the fact that I'm like, oh my god, I might like it. I might fucking become a fucking coke addict. You know what I mean? Like that's part one. But part two, I just like this one green stuff just did it for me enough to where I'm more creative. I think faster. I think solve whatever. So for me, it was like you're right. It wasn't an option just simply because I never gave myself that option of saying it's like you're gonna do that. You know what I mean? And those 3 set of eyeballs are always on me, so I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm in that that's like where I'm at now, is just literally you have to be honest with yourself of like what you're gonna, because I was telling everyone in rehab, like, I'm not gonna not drink for the rest of my life. There's certain occasions where I'm gonna want to drink. Like drinking on certain occasions with your friends is fun.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it fun. And they'd always be like, or it makes it more fun to me. And they'd always be like, why can't you have fun sober? And I'd be like, I can, but it's like, it is what it is. And like alcohol just makes you more relaxed. And like,
Why don't you just have a cheese pizza?
For certain nights, like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But you just have to be aware of who you are as a person, and it's like, and you cut it off after that night. As soon as I'm waking up and I'm like wanting to drink, which happened a few times at like the most recent Optic House, the Immortals house, whatever the fuck.
Oh,
yeah. I found myself just being so bored that like I would wake up and like start drinking. It's 11 a.m. I'm like downtown, and like I'd want to go like downtown day drink with Mike, or like try to convince someone.
Yeah.
And that was, so I'm aware of what my addictive personality can do, but I just feel like being so aware of it and learning so much about it it's like when I ingest something, it hits me differently than it does other people. Some people can like drink a few and they're done. I just drink. I can just drink and drink and drink. But I felt like I wasn't aware of like what that like disease was. Like I never looked at alcohol as a problem. But thinking back, so many nights I went out and would just drink and drink and drink, especially on Adderall too and Xanax. But like when you take Adderall, you can just drink a fuck ton for whatever reason. But I feel like just being so aware of my situation now and being aware of myself, like I'm not afraid of like dabbling back into like the occasional alcohol. Or the occasion, and people have done it successfully. Most people I've heard can't, but I don't think I'm most people. So I know, it's not even like I truly believe. Well, I do truly believe, but like I know I'm gonna be able to like just dabble back into certain things, whether it's to celebrate with friends with drinking or to sleep, to help sleep at night. And I'm going to talk to my doctor anyway about like some sort of sleep med, or just, I don't know, whatever the fuck he thinks. But to just have something, as long as it's not affecting my day-to-day at all, then I'll be good. But I have noticed, not doing anything, I find myself almost getting addicted to Minecraft, where it's like you come in here and like I'm sitting there, it's fucking 9 a.m. and I'm playing Minecraft. I'm turning off my stream and I'm playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
So already, I've only been playing like
week and a half.
Yeah, week and a half, and I'm like, I'm catching that already. So last night while driving home, I'm like, I need to start like going to the gym or exercising or yoga.
Yeah.
And so instead of these in-between moments of streaming or a video or whatever, like I'm doing a healthy habit. I'm like, because that's really what people would try to replace, is like their bored moments, they'll replace them with drugs. My bored moments now, I'm like replacing it with Minecraft. But I'm like already catching myself to be like, wait, there's so many like healthier habits that would make me happier that I could replace these useless
Nothing can make
hours.
you happier than finding diamonds, Nick. Let's be honest.
That might be true.
Or debris. Haven't found ancient debris, by the way. The good thing about, and that's the beauty of Minecraft, right? Like you can literally be on your way to go do something, but you see something that you don't like, so you try to get creative on it, and now you have stairs that lead to nowhere. You know what I mean? That's why that's the allure of Minecraft. That's always been for me, right? That sort of thing. But it's good. Discipline is something that I've always struggled with because I can't be disciplined in every single aspect of my life. When it comes to work, I have to do it like all the way. When it comes to graffiti, I had to be disciplined, and I know that I have to draw something once a week, whether it's just a sketch or something that I finish. I have to do that. Obviously, like family and all that, that's just something that it's natural to me, right? But like everything else is that discipline. The only thing I'm not disciplined on that I wish I had discipline for is like obviously working out and but that's the thing, right? If there was a basketball game every day, I would be at that basketball game every single day to play ball every single day. Because I love basketball, and my discipline to be good at that matches anything else out there. Like I can't be out there not score. I can't be out there sucking. Not my thing. You know what I mean? Happened with English too. When I first moved to the United States and I didn't speak English, like my biggest fear was some girl that I thought was cute not liking me because of my English. So 6 months, learned it. Another 6 months, lost the accent. I could not live in a world in which people made fun of me for my accent. No bullshit. So I fucking read and practiced in my head. Obviously, there's too many people around for me to practice and, out loud, but I just couldn't do it. I know that I have a very disciplined brain when it comes to certain things. Unfortunately, it's not to those things that would eventually like help me even more, which is obviously like health and shit. I'm so disciplined at loving tacos, dude. That's just, what are you able to do? What are you able to do?
You're
not
addicted.
Like food. I am.
Addicted to
I don't think so
tacos.
because I'm addicted to food, 100%. Good food.
Everyone in America is addicted to food.
Yeah. When I see people just eating salads, I'm like, I wish I could do that. When I see people running on the streets, I fucking talk shit.
What I'm getting, well, I'm only day 7 diet. What I'm realizing is, like with the salad thing, like you wish you could do it. I have just been feeling like shit from eating poorly. So it's like when I have the days of eating like fruits and salads and like meats, and like keeping my carbs like medium, my fats low, I feel good. And like I'm hopefully getting addicted to that feeling good feeling. So I don't enjoy this. They're not bad, but like I enjoy eating that food for 10 minutes much more, of course, than like eating a salad. But what I enjoy more than that, and I'm hoping I stick with it, is the feeling, how you feel when you do eat clean for the rest of the day, for the next morning. Like, that's what I'm realizing. Like, I'm on day 7 right now, and like, I don't even want to cheat today because I'm going to feel kind of shitty later, and I'm not going to want to stream. And I like the high of being productive and feeling clean and light more than I like the food. at least for the last 7 days. Last 29 years, I can't say that. But the last 7 days, I'm like realizing I enjoy the feeling of just like feeling lighter and
Not
just
bloated.
feeling better.
Yeah,
Literally just feeling better. I feel shittier when I eat shittier foods.
Yeah. You are what you eat, right? No condescension to that. Anyway, on that note, we're going to end it right there. Thank you for stopping by, Maniac. I'm glad that the update is good. I'm keeping a close eye on you. Know that. You fucking slip up, I'm beneath it, dude. I'm beneath that ice waiting. Fucking elbows. You call it. Whatever you want. Anyway, again, man, I'm really proud of you. I am. I mean that. And I hope that you continue your journey to be the positive one that it is. And hopefully inspire other people. And I know that you said that you might want to start some sort of community where you can, share your experience with current addicts. So I don't know. If you do decide to do that, let me know how I can help.
Yeah.
I'm very limited in that case, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah,
Maddie,
man.
send us away. Again, Curology, thanks so much for sponsoring the podcast. Certainly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week. I think next episode is Alex Perrick, which is going to be obviously an interesting one and a good one. We'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Peace.